Hello everybody, this is Andrew and today we're going to be talking about SurgeGraph.io. I happen to use SurgeGraph on a regular basis. I think it's a fantastic tool. And I happened to stumble upon SurgeGraph a few weeks back when I had a particular problem. I noticed that a lot of AI writers, including ChatGPT and Claude, the output is either really short, or it just has this slightly robotic vibe to it. And so I was looking for something quick and a long form solution to content because typically what I do is I build uh, niche websites surrounding a product or a problem. Most of the websites that are available online right now that are ranking in the top 10, the articles are in depth, they're long, and they're usually in the realm of 3,000 words or more sometimes. When you're using a lot of the AI writers, oftentimes the output is so short. And that's when I started to do some digging and found SurgeGraph. So we're at the bottom of the page, and the reason why I'm taking you here is because I wanted to show you the cost right away, and I wanted to show you the features. So the cost, in my opinion, is extremely reasonable because let's say, for instance, you opted in for the monthly plan of $43. To hire a decent writer on Fiverr, for instance, you're going to spend at least $44. Probably more like $50 to $100 per article. And the reason why I'm saying this is such a reasonable price is because you can generate unlimited content. Let me go all the way to the bottom here. You can generate unlimited word count with long form AI, meaning you could, in theory, generate as many high quality, SEO optimized long form pieces of content with this tool for $44 a month. Extremely valuable. And I haven't even touched on the other features yet. For me personally, I like to use the long form writer. Like that is my jam with this. But there are other features, keyword research, content writer, that go along with this. Keyword planner, etc. There's even some bonuses, and we'll kind of get into that in a bit. So let's log in here. Okay, so we're at the dashboard. This is the login screen of SurgeGraph. And on the left, you have a variety of features here. Of course, you have your content writer. This is where you're going to generate all of your long form content. And you can generate the content from two primary methods. Method one is you input a keyword. So as you can see here, I was testing out some gaming chairs keywords. So you could do gaming chair. Or if you wanted to, and this is what I think is super cool about this, is you can take a URL, any URL, pop it in here, and then optimize that for the keyword that you're looking for. So for instance, if you were looking for a review article for the SitMod gaming chair, and you wanted to review, you wanted to rank for this keyword here. Right now, if you go to Google, oh, let's go to Google. Right now, if you go to Google, Amazon, and Game Rant. Game Rant is number two. Arguably, I'd say this is number one because I don't even count Amazon. So in other words, you're gonna because you're not gonna beat Amazon, right? Like you're not gonna outrate Amazon. Well, it's possible, I suppose. But this is the current number one article for this keyword. And as you can see, it's very short. Very easy to do. So what you do is you take this URL, copy it, bring it over here, paste it, and then you hit create document. What that'll do is it'll analyze the document and output a much better version. So let's say you wanted to rank for this keyword, SitMod Gaming Chair Review. We pop it in here. It looks like we've already got it because it carried it over. See how they can carry over from each one. I'm going to hit create document. I'm also going to grab this URL and copy this and paste it, and then hit create. And as you can see, SurgeGraph is analyzing that information, and it's going to develop a plan for the content. And it was really quick. Look at SitMod Gaming Chair Review has already have a tentative plan for that keyword. It's very fast. And just so you know, your content plans are on different phases. So for instance, you could be at the outline phase, writing phase, etc. Once you finish it, you could hit completed, and it'll look like this down here below. Now before we dig into the content itself, I want to briefly review some of the other features of SurgeGraph. There's a lot. Now for me, I like to focus on long form AI. Like that's why I'm here. I want to create a lot of long form AI articles. However, they have some fringe benefits on top of their long form feature. Keyword research, they have a planner, you can do bulk keyword research, and then they have some other resources as well. Let's take a look at the keyword research. So let's say you wanted to, let's go back here. Get rid of that. Let's grab this keyword, SitMod Gaming Review, Gaming Chair Review. So let's put that keyword in here. And then we're going to research this keyword. All right. So what that's done is it's given us a variety of other types of keywords associated with SitMod. And this really reminds me of a boiled down version of Ahrefs or SEMrush, SERPstat, whatever your SEO tool of choice is. This is a simpler version of that. Now, I don't use this as much in SurgeGraph because I use other tools. But for the person that wants to get a bang for their buck, you've got the long form content option. You've also got a keyword research feature as well. But what I really like about this is the OS, the opportunity score, essentially rating the challenge or difficulty of that keyword to rank. So of course, the higher the number, the better it is. Red is probably going to be challenging. Although, to be honest, I really wonder how they come up with these scores. Even Ahrefs, some of their scores were a little odd. Because I look at the SitMod Gaming Chair Review, and then I go to Google. I know for a fact, like this is number 2, and I know Game Rant has a lot of domain authority. It's been around for a long time. But this article is so short. It's literally like 300 words or less. SurgeGraph is going to far exceed the content level of that piddly article. So, I don't know. Take these scores with a grain of salt. It's not like it's written in stone, but it's a nice rule of thumb. So, if we wanted to switch back and forth between various parts of your dashboard, you can go up here to the upper left-hand corner, and you can click the downward arrow here. We're in the keyword research. Let's go to the planner. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really use this section, but this is a way where you can basically create a concept map of keywords to visually plan it. Now, I don't really need that. Like I organize my keywords in usually just a flow sheet or like an Excel doc. But if you're a visual person, you can certainly use this to uh, make connections and basically a concept map of related terms. Um, and then lastly here, the bulk keyword research. So let's say you had a bunch of keywords that you wanted to look at how they rank up against each other. So, but I don't actually have a bunch right now. So let's just do this, and then just do research keywords. And of course, we can't do duplicates, but it gives us kind of the same type of information that's in the keyword research section. But in this case, you could compare a bunch of different keywords. Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard here. And as you can see, um, we have a tentative outline here. Perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click this. All right. So the the way they've set this up is actually pretty intuitive. There's some minor quirks that you're going to have to get used to, but as you play with it, it's not going to take too long for you to get used to it here. But let's just kind of go through each aspect one by one. So firstly, we've looked at this before. This is a way to navigate to other aspects of their dashboard. If you wanted to update your keyword, you click the pencil here. You can certainly do that, or if you wanted to add URLs to the content, you certainly could. If you wanted to export this outline to a .pdf or a text, you could do that. Say for whatever reason you wanted to throw it in ChatGPT or what have you. Um, this is a gauge, a topical gauge, and you'll see that come relevant here soon enough. But what it's done is it's essentially created a basic content goal here based upon our keyword. So now what we want to do is we want to generate the outline. So first things first, let's just hit continue here. And then you have a variety of word goals you can certainly hit. Given that the largest article on is like 300 words, I'm confident that the 3,500 words is going to be more than enough for 2,500 or 3,500. So let's just do generate here. I'm always including question, talking points, and contextual terms. I just think that the more of the information, the better. So I hit generate, and then there's a little thinking bot here. Uh, it's kind of like their little loading symbol. It's usually pretty fast though. I mean, that literally took like 5 seconds. And so now we already have a pretty solid outline. So let's look at this. Introduction, features and benefits, comparisons, tips, recommendations, customer reviews, buying guide, and final thoughts. I mean, this is a phenomenal outline for our article. Next here, we want to look at the start writing section. So before we click start writing, we're going to answer essentially the writing style and tone of the article here. So I tend to opt for informative, but you certainly could do any of these conversational. I like the informative though. Okay, and then let's keep the reading level at 7th to 8th grade. And the reason for that is I know there's been some research about this, but basically the the 8th grade through 10th grade is the general goal you'd like to be at for blogs to make it accessible and readable to a majority of people. So let's hit start writing, and then this is not going to take long. Okay, so as you can see, our article is now done, and if we scroll on down, we can see that it was filled with lots of content pretty quickly, and it is 2,800 words long, which is perfect. The SEO score, their topical coverage score is 73, which is fine by me. I mean, you could always get it to 100, but we have to balance perfectionism with just getting the job done. Thinking about what's currently ranking in this keyword, I'm really confident that we could probably do just fine with this level of depth. The article isn't done per se. We still need to edit it, of course. And there's actually another section I haven't talked about quite yet here. So let's look at the SEO section. Okay, So it's given us a bit of a grade here. We've got 0.03% keyword density. Frankly, I don't dwell on that. I just want my keyword to be mentioned, a half a dozen times throughout the article, particularly in the headings and in the title, of course. One of the really slick features of SurgeGraph is this auto-optimize section. So if you look down here, there are certain pieces that still need some attention, with these indicated by these red X's here. Now, not all of this will be solved by this auto-optimize button, but it certainly will help with some of it. So instead of manually doing this, because it's all about time to end product, like I don't want to spend hours and hours on one piece of content. I want to get it out there as fast as possible. So I'm going to opt for the auto optimize button here. Okie dokie. So as you can see, the auto optimization is done. I'm going to go ahead and hit accept here. And then there are other aspects that I could do manually. 20 decorations and 8 contextual terms. I am going to take the easy way out and go with accept all and accept all. And then I'm going to do an optimized URL, which is fine. Actually, that doesn't even matter right now because we need to add that to the website. So this is not really relevant right now. But perfect. Hit save changes. So right now we have a well optimized piece of content that's covering the topic at 100%, it says. So at this point, the next step is let's get it on the website, let's edit it, let's publish it. And the thing is this article took what, a few minutes to create, and over an evening you could probably whip out easily 10, maybe 15 articles in a sitting. So the next step here is publishing. And there's a lot of ways to do that. We could export it to a doc, to a PDF. You can, if you use a WordPress site, which I typically do, you can connect this to your WordPress site. There's a way to, and it gives you the instructions here. There's a way to connect SurgeGraph to your WordPress site with a credential. And that guide there will show you how to do it. But it will automatically pop in this article in a draft form, I believe, in WordPress. The one thing I've noticed is I don't think this information is always saves here and stays. So what I opt to do is just download the HTML, super easy. And then I open up that folder, and then I look at document, and then boom, there is my article. So I'm going to hit Control-Alt, Control-C, and then let's pop over to my website. So now we're in the back end of my WordPress site at aireviewbrew.com, and let's whip up a quick post. Okay? So I'm going to I'm going to paste that article in, and this is the H1 tag, so that's our title to the article. And I'm going to just delete that or back up. And so yeah, this is it. Now, what I do like is that a lot of the headings are already in H2 tags. There's usually some bullet points, which I see here, which is perfect, so it breaks up the content a little bit. Right now, just off the cuff, I'm seeing that this article needs pictures, of course. You can get those from Amazon, no big deal. You can see that the word count is nearly 3,100 words, which is more than enough. The other piece is this introduction is massive. I think this is way too long. And that's probably one of the few gripes that I have about SurgeGraph is, this is really, your intro should be like this long, right? Like maybe like 5 to 7 sentences. So Which brings me to a point about AI content, which is yes, it saves us a boatload of time. It's very convenient, but we're still creating information for people, and people can sniff out AI content really quickly, usually. And people have a very short attention span. So we want to cater to our audience so they stick around on our website, and so they ultimately click our links and purchase products, and then that's when we end up with commission. And so AI content is great to a point, and it still requires a little bit of human ingenuity and intervention to take it to the next level. Now, I'm not saying that'll be the case forever. I think that these tools in general are getting really good really quickly, and maybe 6 months from now, I won't even have to have this conversation because the tools are so good that they don't even need human interaction, which is a little like Terminator-esque, of course. But in the meantime, spend a few minutes, read the article, trim the fat, get rid of the crap you don't need, keep the good, and if you lose a few hundred words as part of the editing process, so be it. If the article is more readable as a result, then that's good for you and your reader because you're going to have more engage as a result of that. Perfect. I think this about wraps up WordPress. This is the article. Let's pop back into SurgeGraph. Say you wanted to do some editing in SurgeGraph. There's a whole bunch of tools for you to do so. You can insert tables and bullets, etc., etc. At this point, the article is generally done. So what I like to do is I use their function here. I change it from an outline to completed. It turns it green, and if you go back to your dashboard here, you can see that it's green. It's completed. Okay, other aspects before I finalize the video here, just some more housekeeping items. They do have a Facebook group. It's small but active, and the people there are very helpful, very kind. Highly recommend it. And it's interesting to talk to other people that are using this tool to kind of see how they're leveraging it for their own work. And then if you go into the resources section here, they've got a ton of tutorials on how to use SurgeGraph. I highly recommend you take a few minutes and just follow along their videos. They're very easy to understand. And then they've got a bonus section down here with some various guides on link building and etc., SEO, etc., which are a nice bonus feature that you can certainly capitalize in as well. I do know that SurgeGraph is updating their tool on a regular basis, and the customer service is highly responsive. When I first got SurgeGraph, I was having some issues, and they were very on top of it and took care of me right away, which is really nice feature to have a responsive development team. And I think SurgeGraph, this is just the beginning. I think SurgeGraph has a lot more to come. They have a lot of ideas in place. I wish I knew exactly where their roadmap is. I don't have it in front of me. Otherwise, I'd show you. But again, it comes back to like money versus time. Do you want to spend your time developing these giant articles, or do you want to spend a little bit of money and do it automatically? So if we go to the bottom of the website here, 44 bucks for a unlimited long form articles is small price to pay for what you would pay to have a professional do this. And if you really want to cash in on a good deal, $15 a month for unlimited long form articles is unbelievably cheap. With that being said, I hope this review is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions about it, and I will be sure to answer them to the best of my ability. All right, talk soon.